Today we are creating space. I was running late and my mother is displeased.
I am not displeased. I just want to know what we're doing. I'm not displeased. I'm just like, so is it happening? Is it not happening?
This is
Let me
a
know.
special episode of Lineage Lessons because Benjamin, your youngest son, my youngest brother, is turning 21 and has turned 21 actually. And we are meeting post birthday because, of course, we're adults, schedules are busy. And so we decided to do a special episode of Lineage Lessons in honor of that. The family will be trickling in soon. So,
Yeah, our family has a unique relationship with time. And so, um, in anticipation of the fact that we all know that certain family members run late, we were like, so we still have time. But it definitely won't be as long as other segments have been.
sure.
And per usual, because we know our family members, those people who were going to be on time have already arrived. So
Now that's valid. And he was mad.
he was like, why are you doing that now? Because he was on time. That's what happens when people are on time. But anyway, so we do
There
have
you
time to
go.
talk. What we thought we would do, first of all, I just want to recognize that this was Dorielle's idea to have the whole family to honor Ben. Some of us were with him in Vegas when he turned 21. It was great to do that, but not everyone could go.
Sure.
So Dorielle was like, we should really spend some time with Ben, and Ben has invited some of his friends. So it's hanging out, family and friends, and game night and whatever. But I thought it would be cool for us to just kind of go back. I looked at some of the previous segments and want to make sure that we were capturing what we said we were going to capture.
For sure.
So, one of the things that you talked about previously was like how difficult it is when there are these expectations
Hmm.
on you, um, that necessarily that other people in the community would put on you. And we said we would
Mm,
come back to it. So I
for
thought
sure.
today would be a good time to sort of hit that.
Well, let's start with some water then
Yes, let's
because this is
definitely hydrate.
spicy. Yes. And so being the daughter of Rachelle Rogers Ard
My
is
God.
a special privilege in the Oakland community.
Oh my
For those that
gosh.
do not know, Dr. Rachelle Rogers
Oh
Ard
my gosh.
has been doing community work for over almost about 30 years,
Yeah,
more
I'm
than
a
that.
little old. Thank you.
Seasoned,
Thank you.
fresh,
Yeah, yeah,
still
yeah, yeah, yeah.
marinated, if you will.
Okay, thank you. I'll
And
take that.
so that looks like doing some work at Castlemont. She was a teacher for a very long time. Not in a bad way, not in a bad way, not in a bad way. She did some work at Castlemont. She went on to do some work at OIC and YMP. YE?
YMP was before
YMP.
Castlemont, but sure.
I'm
I love that you know this. Go
I'm
for it.
doing a couple of them. Let's see how many I get right. She also started her own business. Come on, entrepreneur. And then she was surprised that she has her own business now. Like I didn't watch her do her own thing. Different part of the episode, different segment.
Wow.
But she has been a community activist, healing children, changing lives for a long time, i.e., going into the grocery store and people knowing her. That also looks like a lack of privacy at times.
OMG.
We are being told to look presentable at all times when we step outside of the house. And I didn't think about that until I got a little older and started to do my own thing in the community, and people recognized me. Nothing scarier than being high and getting recognized by your brother who doesn't know you smoke. So that was cute. A little anxiety for me as a teenager trying to be sneaky. And so I think that what I really learned was that there is an expectation of excellence. And there is, right, me trying to watch your facial expression. I'm like, and honestly, pro and con, right? I think it's crazy when, not crackhead is a crazy example because I'm always just thinking about crackhead as like a crazy, but like let's say your parental unit is a drug addict, if you will, or they're having life circumstances, and that can also be your reputation. And so I'm acknowledging my privilege to know that the expectation is excellence, versus having like a negative reputation in the community. But there are cons to this expectation. I think it also looks like following in her footsteps. And I am a teacher now, so that's funny. And God has a sense of humor, like LOL. And so being known now in OUSD, I mean, it is a beautiful thing. Like I said, I will never forget, I have a job interview and I answered the phone and she was like, "Is this Rachelle?" And I was like, "One, why would Rachelle?" See how people are stupid though, respectfully. Why
There's
would
no way
Rachelle?
respectfully to say people are stupid.
Because
That's
why would
disrespectful.
Rachelle be interviewing for this job beneath you, ma'am? But it was really just her asking because my voice sounded like my mom and
Right.
she saw the last name. And so when I enter this space, there is an expectation of, again, excellency. And so that could look like the way that I speak. My mom is, she's been this way my whole life. She would like for you to use diction, and she has an intense vocabulary. And and apparently she was really good at working because people were confused. I was like, I'm gonna be late and it's gonna be a little ratchet. And I think people were confuzzled, by my lifestyle decisions to be a little less hardworking, I guess. And so just being honest, I'm like, I would be the ratchet version of you. And so it was, when we think about those external reflections of people upholding this mirror to you, like, this is your mom. And I'm like, I literally know this is my mom. That also carried into church as well. She's the minister of music. She is leading all sorts of things and having 7 jobs at the same time. And so here I am, like, I don't even really want to go to church, y'all. And they're like, "What do you mean? Your mom's the minister of music?" And I'm like, "Oh, sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I'm kind of a spiritual girly." And they're like, "What?" And so I think that all of that, mind you, she still does church choirs. I'm realizing this is actually also present day activities. It's my life.
They're community choirs, but go ahead.
Right. Held at church.
They're in the
Doing
community.
old school gospel songs in homage to her queendom past, and she was also known like in the community as being a really great choir director. Like, so there's no escape from this community acknowledgement of just being freaking amazing. As well, I think there's one more category. So there's work, there's church. Um, Everyone loves my freaking mom, right? Like, people love a little, "That's my play mom. She's just a great advisor." And and I'm just like, okay, y'all, right? And of course, typical Black mom thing, ear to the phone, talk to her friends about her kids, right? And so then people in the community are like, "Oh, so you're not talking to your mom?" I remember somebody text my phone. Text my phone talking about some, "Oh, so you're not talking to your mom? That's crazy because X, Y, and Z." And I said, "This is my mom." I'm like, "Who do you think you are texting my phone?" And that's just an example of this excellency. Because I had to pull it back because that shit me hot, y'all. Like, that was like, imagine somebody's texting your phone about your mom. And it happens like it wasn't one person. There was communal uproar about me and my mom not having our business together. And so it was really, it really reminded me that your mom, and this is for everyone, whoever your parental units are, people to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And don't let them have community because you will get dragged by their community for whatever it is that you got going on, period. And so I think it did have a little level of expectation, if you will. I'm just like, damn, can me and her figure it out? Like, I might have a rebellious stage. I might be going through whatever, and y'all are worried about having my mom's back, period, because she's a community activist and a teacher, and she's all that to y'all. I'm not gonna lie, no tea, no shade. One person literally said, "Your mom is like a god in my life." I said, "This is some bullshit." I'm like, y'all, the Bay Area was in shambles. Like, what? Her kids ain't doing this, and that. T. So before I go into my rant, yes, in general, there is an expectation.
Wasn't
It
shambles.
I was getting dragged. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, Okay, so I just want to make sure that, and first of all, thank you
And
for sharing
I
that.
will summarize if need
Right,
be.
like you put it all in
Because
there.
I need them to know the three different categories:
That is
personal,
difficult.
work, and church.
Music, sort of
You know,
music, right?
church, music, like there are three different dimensions, and she's excellent in all of them. Period. Don't please ask her community about her. They stand on big ones, like 10 toes, ready to fight on her behalf. And so, being the daughter, that is a whole thing. Not to mention, obviously, the family. And we alluded to a little bit about that because they were on my neck. They were like, "So you're not talking to mom?"
Part of them was
Part
on your
of
neck.
them,
Yes.
dad,
Other parts.
oldest son, at least, and Dee Dee. Period. That's your mom. Those are your.
Yes. But the other three.
Eh.
It was an even score. I want you to know it was half and half, baby. It was like cream up in here is what I want
That's
you to
crazy.
know. They were like cream here and milk here, and we're gonna figure out how they work together. I think first of all, again, thank you for
I know you're like, thank you for that.
I'm not sure that I was as aware of what was. In fact, I know I wasn't, because it wasn't until after that we come together that a couple of people were like, "Yeah, I reached out to Dorielle," and I was like, "This wasn't like I asked them to reach out, but I did feel like I needed to vent. I needed to understand what was going on. I needed to understand why. It was super painful. It was super like." I was in pain, and I needed to understand and try and make sense of that. Let me just go back. So I'm a certain age, y'all. Like, and I've lived, unlike other people, I've lived in the same city where I was born.
Yeah.
So if you are doing fairly good work in the same city where you were born over time, and I'm talking about decades, as they would say, decades of work, then, and if that work can be public or what have you, then chances are, if you're doing really good work, people are going to know you. It just so happened that as a teacher, I taught high school. So as soon as those people graduated, they also continued in the community.
Yeah.
And they were like, she was great because I had a really great bond. I had a choir, which is different than I just taught English. And we would go on tour. So once we got off tour, baby, we were family. And a lot of those choir members sang with me in successive choirs. So they kind of feel really like I'm part of them and their family and their community. So that was a difference as opposed to just being a high school teacher. And then this is hilarious.
No, it's the for context, our family is starting to arrive.
They're starting to trickle in. The two that we knew would
hilarious.
be here a little later than the others have arriven.
It's hilarious because
and one is standing right at the doorway.
But I love it because it also is very much like
this is real.
It's the like
it's
this
authentic.
This is dead ass.
It's a lot more authentic than I wanted it to be. It's super authentic.
I love it. I love it because it gives it acknowledges the fourth dimension, if you will.
Oh, there's a fourth dimension and maybe even a fifth. But at any rate, there's music.
Hello, Dad.
Right.
Hi, my Rick. Father, Ricky Ard.
Ricky Ard, ladies and gentlemen. So there's music.
Yeah.
Then I'll save the personal work. When you work in the same organization, again, I was in Oakland Unified for about 23 years. So you think people know me now. When I walked back in, I'm currently doing some consulting work with them. People everywhere were like, "Oh, hey, I remember you." One woman said, "I remember you did a PD for us in 2016." And I was like, my God, when was 2016? So it was really kind of funny that, when you do good work, I've always said this, your work precedes you.
You have said that.
And so if you're doing good work, chances are people are going to remember it. And people remember how you make them feel more than they remember what you've said to them. So the blessing is that I've had an impact. When my daughter comes along, right, there may have been a small segment of the population that was like, great, we're going to have a Rachelle too.
Exactly.
It was never ever, and I just want to say this, since the time that you were born, I was always clear that you were your own person. In fact, I used to talk about how much you were your own person because I was like, wow, you're really your own person.
But also, when we talk about there's this external layer and then there's the internal, it was a running joke that the family would call me Rachelle 2.0.
In that
So,
you were going to be better
right.
than me.
But imagine being better than excellent. The fuck is that? Thank you. I need that part clipped. That's y'all. Chat, as they would say, community that is viewers. Please help my
It's
mother
the
with her
lineage.
doctoral define what is better than excellent. I said,
Well,
you want
because
me to be better than 40 people?
every successive generation, right, tries to be better in whatever way, right? Because
Better at being ass, y'all.
that's that's our dream, that we work so hard to create space. So a perfect example. Rick, your dad is a drummer.
Right.
Ben is a drummer. The goal is for Ben to be a better drummer than his dad, because that's what it means for each successive generation to get better. For me, if you're an educator, the goal is for you to be not just better, but a different type of educator in your space, meaning that you're going to have the same impact. You might not stay for 10 years, but let's say you did stay at Tech for 10 years and you taught dance for all those years. You don't think you're going to have 30, 40, 50 people who are like, Miss Dorielle is the bomb? It just is a different situation. Yeah, you are. And what I'm saying is, you would have a million people if you stayed as long as I stayed. It's just that I stayed in it longer.
No, that's
So
real.
people were calling me that. And also, I always saw you as being able, when I said better, being able to do so many different things better because I paved that way.
In my life, and thank you for sharing.
Okay. All right.
No, but seriously, it was an honor to have a blueprint as I've gotten older. Now, this is, like I said, post me and mom hashing it out and all the
Mm-hmm.
foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
In that circle back, that full circle moment, and talking to other people in my community, my friends who can't say shit about their mamas, they like, I barely want to speak to them at all. I
Mm.
think there is a certain aspect of genuine appreciation for the groundwork and even certain mistakes. Like, of course there's the excellency, but you,
Mm-hmm.
as I got older, started to share where you wanted me to have repair, and you wanted me to. A great example would be in my relationship, for the
Absolutely.
viewers that know, I am engaged, and there was a plenty of time where I was just having conversations with my mom about things that he and I had discussed, and she was like, "Oh, y'all talking about that?" And I was like, "Yeah, because as well she had conversations with me about things that she would have liked to do differently, or conversations she would have liked to introduce earlier." And I think that
Absolutely.
that is a great example. And then, of course, again with teaching, like, I just kind of learned, like, to not put all of my life force, all of my key into these children. You always told me to kind of like keep a good work life balance. And now, granted, you learn that after all the USC people, so I know they was looking at me like, "Girl, what you think, you got boundaries or something?"
Absolutely.
But
And also, OUSD is made to wear people out, which is why people leave there. And so I stay too long, but that was what I was told back in the day. You get in,
absolutely.
you become a teacher, you stay a teacher, and you stay there forever. And those are the things that you do. So there's a lot of things. So what we're seeing now is, most of the family is coming on in,
Yeah.
and
All
so
right.
anyway, I think we're going to come back to this because I need to understand how you lived through that pressure, what you did, some of the retaliation, I guess, or as you called it, really rebellion was part of that. And so, family is busy. We can't listen.
you know
Okay. And with his bonnet, Janelle, feel free to whatever
She
part
will,
you want to
and
edit
honestly,
out.
what's gonna be funnier is we're gonna have to put the full video out. So we'll either cut before this, or y'all will just see our entire.
Yeah, tell me what you
This is the
think about that, Janelle.
lineage, and
Let us
so
know.
just to be super intentional, of course, a lot of this conversation is really meaningful for us, but also acknowledging, like, this is genuine family lineage lessons that we're learning and that we're living by and that we're moving through in current time. And so I just want to make sure that I just want to make sure that we know on the next episode of Lineage
We'll come
Lessons.
back to this for
We'll
sure.
come back to
But thanks for
this.
joining. Appreciate it. Hope you and your family are having a good time. Bye bye.
Yes, peace.